In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to lose body fat and gain muscle tissue using metabolic priming. So we're going to be going through a case study from one of my clients, Mason, his initial consultation, week by week, his transformation that he made, and exactly why he implemented each step of the process and why metabolic priming is the most sustainable, easy, and predictable way of losing body fat and gaining lean muscle tissue. So if you guys don't know me by now, my name's Adam. I'm an online fitness professional. I help men lose body fat, keep it off for good, get unstuck from fat loss plateaus using high-level forms of nutrition, of metabolic priming, which is a form of metabolism manipulation through correct macronutrients and hormone therapy. So stick through this video. I'm going to show you exactly step-by-step how to lose body fat, gain muscle tissue, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it for Mason. So there's going to be a couple links in the description of this video. The first one is going to be my full tutorial on metabolic priming and how to lose body fat using metabolic priming. There's going to be case studies and testimonials under that and link associated, and the last link in the description is going to be an application to work with me. So if you think that you are stuck in a fat loss plateau, you've been spinning your wheels for a while, there's going to be an application for you to fill out, and we can jump on a call and I can see what I can do to help. But the purpose of this video is to show you that you can build muscle tissue and lean out using metabolic priming. So the first thing I want to do in this video is actually let you guys hear from Mason himself.
You're shredded right now. Like, you're eating what? Still like 1,400 more calories?
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah.
If I would have told you when we first started, like, hey, like in a couple months from now, you're going to be eating, 1,500 more calories, and you're going to be shredded, like, what would you have said?
I wouldn't believe it. Or I'd be like, am I eating salad? Or dude, it's like, that's probably what I used to do when I wanted to lose some fat, just, eat less carbs. But it's like, then you get skinny fat, doesn't matter. My goal used to always be, 225 on bench. And now I just hit 285 yesterday and it was pretty easy. So I'm like, hell, 315 this week. I don't know. But, that's a big thing that's gone up. And even just, everything in the gym, it's crazy. And just having someone that actually knows what they're talking about with a plan and having you there to kind of guide me through each step of why this is going up and why I'm having more carbs this week or why it's going down or stuff like that. I've always been pretty confident and secure, but now it's, certainly at its highest has been.
Now, and you got the stash too to prove it.
That's right. That helps.
That adds just a little bit more confidence. You wear that stash well, especially when you're as shredded as you are. I'm happy for you. Like, I seriously, like, from the bottom of my heart, is like really, really happy and also super proud of you.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate everything you've done.
So if you're one of the guys that thinks that you can't gain muscle tissue, eat more food, and lose body fat, Mason here just explained why it's possible and how I helped him do it. So let's get right into this case study. So anyways, upon Mason's initial consultation, we did a consultation for him, and he wants to look better, feel better, and he feels like everything goes to his gut. So if you're one of the guys right now who feels like everything you eat goes to your gut, any type of carbohydrate you eat, you jumped up in weight the next day, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to show you exactly where you're going wrong and how to fix it, and then how metabolic priming is the most predictable, easy, and sustainable way to lose body fat and gain muscle tissue. So his current stats were he's 6'2", 215, and he was eating 2,000 calories a day. So in this picture right here, he was eating 2,000 calories a day at 215. So I have the days associated and weight associated for him as well, and the calories associated with that as well. So upon my consultation, I knew that Mason needed to get correct macronutrients in place to build good muscle tissue. So when you break down macronutrients, calories affect your weight, macronutrients affect how you look, and micronutrients affect how you feel. So giving Mason good macronutrients in the form of protein, carbs, and fats to gain good muscle tissue, to maintain hormone levels with the correct fat intake, to optimize digestion as well with the correct fat intake, and then using carbohydrates as our stimulus to build muscle tissue and to lean out. So we need to, one, fix his hormone with the metabolic priming process. He's never tracked macros associated to him. And many of you guys out there probably have tried diets like low carb, keto, intermittent fasting, and you either just get stuck or you just gain it right back. That's because it's never been customized to you. You've never had customizable macronutrients associated to you, your hormones, what you do for a living, and how to build good muscle tissue and lean out at the same time. With correct macronutrients, it is possible. So we wanted to set him with a protein goal, a fat goal, and backfill the rest of carbohydrates to meet 2,000, then work them up in a metabolic priming phase before we're going into a fat loss phase. So when we break down where he was at, we can kind of have the association to his metabolic priming phase. So the first thing we did with Mason is when we set up the correct macronutrient goals as a form of 2,000 calories, right? We set him a protein goal, a fat goal, backfill the rest of carbohydrates to meet 2,000 calories. Then we slowly started to work him up in calories from there. So you see on 921, we gave him 200 more calories per day, right? So over the course of time, in about 6 weeks' time, he was up to almost 400 calories more per day right here on 928, right? He was also down 9 pounds, eating 400 more calories per day. But look at the transformation his body had made in just 6 weeks. Already started to lean out, eating more food, right? Love handles started to subside, back started to tighten up. So when I looked at his initial consultation, I knew that there was a bunch of inflammation and water retention that we needed to get rid of. And that's why correct macronutrients are so important, because nailing those macronutrients will help with water retention, any gut inflation, and really building good muscle tissue in the process. So when you think about building muscle tissue in general, one, you have to think about having more muscle tissue means you will look leaner, right? Getting that muscle to expand into your skin. So if you are caught in the skinny fat phase, it's simply just your lack of ratio between muscle mass and body fat. So having more muscle tissue is special in certain different ways. One, like I said, you will expand the muscle tissue, because think about 185 at 15% body fat and 115 at 15% body fat. Obviously, at 150 pounds, 15% body fat, you look and you appear to have more skinny fat available, right? That's because the surface area of the body fat has more room to cover, right? So another thing about muscle tissue in general is having more muscle tissue means your metabolism will raise, right? And that's simply because it takes 8 calories to sustain 1 pound of muscle tissue, but 2 calories to sustain 1 pound of body fat. So having more muscle tissue will mean that your metabolism will rise. So we wanted to pair Mason with a really good strength training program customized to him and macronutrients associated to him as well. And in 6 weeks, he already started to lean out a lot, right? Abs started to come back, love handles started to subside, and then what we did over the course of time is we just kept raising those calories, right? So I have the notes that I've took. So 28, we would raise calories on 10.5 to 2,400, and then 2,400 we raised a little bit of protein, and then we got them up to 2,500, and then on 12.17 he was at 2,600 calories, right? So when you look at where he was at 328, so keep in mind we kept raising them from the moment that we had him at 12.17 at 2,600, and we kept raising him till we hit 3,400 calories on 314, right? But notice the changes in his body, and here's the dates to prove it, right? 3,400 calories. He's 218 pounds eating 3,400 calories, but he is much leaner, eating 1,400 more calories per day, right? So slowly working him up, we increase his muscle tissue. Keep in mind, in this photo right here, he is 3 pounds heavier than where he started right here, right? Love handles have all the way subsided. His back has absolutely blew up. Muscle tissue in his back has became really, really pronounced. And he's eating 3,400 calories per day right here, right? So if we take this, for example, the metabolic priming phase that I've kind of built out for him, the first thing we did was we cut all of his cardio to zero. So on 921, he started at 2,000 calories, but we wanted to cut all his calories to zero because we can anticipate that, one, if he was eating 2,000 calories and he was kind of caught in the skinny fat phase, that his BMR or his basal metabolic rate was relatively pretty low. So, what we did is we cut the cardio to zero, and then we started to slowly raise the calories, increasing the BMR, right? So on 1130, when he was at 2,600 calories, we can anticipate that his BMR had slightly rose over time because he was not only at 206, but he had lost 9 pounds eating 400 more calories per day, right? And then on 328, when we got him all the way up to 3,600 calories. So the thing you guys got to realize is that we do this process very slow based upon the progress he's making week by week. I pull strings in the form of macronutrients week by week to guide his body along this process. If we needed to wait a week for his body to keep adjusting, then we do that, right? So it's not just a straight line. We have to anticipate and have to analyze the data of how he looks, how he feels, how his training sessions are going, and his body weight in general to see if we can give his body more food. Because if we give his body too much food too fast, that's when we gain a little bit more body fat than we're actually really wanting to. So, on 328, when he's at 3,400 calories, 3,500 calories, and then once we got his basal metabolic rate up, he was doing zero cardio, which means now we have more leverage to work with in the form of actually cutting fat off. So not only in the metabolic priming phase did he build good muscle, he leaned out, but now we've set his body up for a great fat loss phase, which means we have 3,600 calories to work with, no cardio, and we can anticipate his BMRs through the roof now because he's eating 3,400 calories and he's leaner than he started, right? Even being 3 pounds up, he was much leaner, much stronger, and like you hear in the video, he was hitting new PRs every single week, right? And so, we started his cut on 328, which we gave him a good deficit, and we just added a little bit of cardio, right? So we started his cut at 3,000 calories and 20 minutes of cardio, right? And over the course of time, we slowly did the exact same thing we do to the metabolic priming phase, but in reverse, right? So you can see the data to prove that on 411, we took out some fat. On 418, we took out some carbohydrates, added a little bit of cardio. And then on 425, we took out a little bit of rice, added some, steps in the form of low intensity cardio. And then we lowered some food, raised some cardio, lowered some food, raised some cardio. And over the course of time in his fat loss phase, as you can see, on 418, we went to, 2,700 calories. 523, we went to 2,200 calories. And then his cardio started to go up with that, right? So just like the metabolic priming phase, we based the progress and based what we're going to do with him next based upon the check-ins that he was having, where his body weight was, making sure that his body was losing 0.5 to 1.5 pounds per week. And if it was, we kept riding it out, right? Because when you're in a fat loss phase, you want to use each iteration as long as you can. Iteration being amount of calories, amount of cardio, and amount of steps, right? If you jump way too quick, you're using all your resources. You're using all your leverage. So, the leverage being calories, cardio, and steps, right? And so you don't want to do it too fast because then you lose all your leverage and you lose all your tools to work with, right? So over the course of time, we started to slowly raise his cardio, slowly lower his food, and then this is what he looked like the last time he checked in at 206, right? Absolutely freaking peeled to the bone, right? Back looks great. And you keep in mind that on 11:30, he was 206, right? So not only was he 215 right here, 218 right here, but he was 206 right here and 206 today, right? Much leaner, much stronger. And this is why the process of metabolic priming is so predictable every single time. Because one, you prime the metabolism, you build muscle tissue, you work the body up, and you catch the metabolism in the process. And then when you have enough leverage, you can start to lower the calories and really start to bang out some cardio, right? Most of you watching this right now, you'll do a massive upfront deficit where you'll cut all your calories and raise a bunch of cardio, and then you get stuck and you get plateaued because you have no more resources to work with, as opposed to prepping your body for a cut, prepping your metabolism for a fat loss phase, so where you don't have to go under 2,000 calories and you don't have to do tons of cardio. So Mason here can get as lean as we want him to get, and the beautiful thing about metabolic priming in general is that we can do this entire process again. So we can anticipate over the course of time that in his fat loss phase that his BMR had probably started to low, right? And this is just because this is the body's natural response to lowering food over the course of time, because the body's a lot smarter than you guys think it is. It's 10 times smarter than you or I. So like over the course of time, it'll start to downregulate your metabolism to save your body from losing fat. The body doesn't want to lose body fat, right? It tries to restrict you from losing body fat. And so like one, you have to be very careful on one, cutting your calories too quick, but also knowing that over the course of time, your BMR bar will start to lower. So the thing with Mason here in general is that if we wanted to go back into another metabolic priming phase, keep his body fat low and focus on growing lean muscle tissue, we can do this entire process again and get him bigger and get him leaner again, right? And this is why metabolic priming is so predictable, sustainable, and a simple way to follow, because it is a system. It is a step-by-step instruction manual on exactly what you need to get leaner and build good muscle tissue, right? And it all starts with the macronutrients associated to you and changing those macronutrients week by week very slowly, pulling little strings to guide your body along this process, keeping your metabolism intact, building good muscle tissue in the process, and making sure that you are losing body fat at correct amount, making sure your body's not down regulating all your hormones, too quickly, but also keeping your basal metabolic rate intact so that you can get leaner over the course of time. So Mason right here is, this is what he checked in last week with me, and we got a little bit left of his cut, and then we're going to go right back to a metabolic priming phase and raise his calories, lower his cardio, and raise his basal metabolic rate, and then go back into another fat loss phase. Then that's exactly what I do with every single one of my clients. Nail the macronutrients, optimize the hormones, increase the metabolism, get your body prepped for a cut, shred body fat, and not have to starve yourself along the way. This is why it's the most sustainable, easy process to follow, because when you track macronutrients, you don't have to restrict yourself. Mason's not restricting himself to certain foods every day. He's simply just hitting correct macronutrients in a flexible dieting lifestyle to keep himself hungry, keep himself satiated, but to also have flexibility within his lifestyle. So we just nail macronutrients, raise the basal metabolic rate, then go into a fat loss phase without having to starve yourself, do massive upfront deficits, or cut a bunch of carbohydrates in the process. So that is the entire video on my client case study, Mason, and how I was able to get him to lose body fat and gain lean muscle tissue over the course of time, and he made an amazing transformation and got absolutely peeled. And like I said, this is the exact same process I use with every single one of my clients, and it works every single time, and it's successful 100% of the time because it's a simple process to follow, and I guide my clients week by week along this process. So if you're struggling to lose body fat, you're stuck in a fat loss plateau, or you don't even know where to start losing body fat, go ahead and fill out a time down below in that link. It'll be in the description. We'll jump on a call, and I'll see what's stopping you from getting lean, and I'll build you out some systems and build you out some higher level strategies to show you where you're at, where you want to get, and I'll help fill in the gap with what you need to do. So if you are struggling to get lean, sign up for a time, don't wait, and I will break everything down for you. And if I'm 1000% confident I can help you, I will show you what the process would look like for you, and I'll help you get on board in my program and help you get to the leanest body fat percentage you have ever been using metabolic priming. So that's the end of today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Go to my channel, watch my free metabolic priming training, and enjoy this video, and see you guys next time.